Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer and welcome to Best Kept Plans. Today's video is going to be a recap of my August 2022 budget in the printable version of the Budget by Paycheck Workbook from the Budget Mom. If you're interested in seeing that, please stick around. I'm so excited to be filming a budget recap for the month of August 2022. I did not film a recap for July, and that's because I never closed out my budget for the month of July. It was a really hectic month for me, and I did not have like the time or capacity to do it. I actually even attempted to do it about halfway through August, and I was like, I just need to be done with July. Like, I need to move on from July. So I'm really glad that I was able to close out this budget for August 2022 and that I'm filming this video for you all. I'm here in the monthly view of the Budget by Paycheck Workbook. You can see that everything is either checked off or has an X next to it. I did pay all of my bills except for my student loan payment because student loans are now on hold until the end of 2022. I have all of my check marks next to my yellow savings challenge contributions. I did have my sister's birthday on the 4th, and I was going to pull out from my birthday sinking fund for that, but I actually ended up not needing to. I realized that I had purchased a gift for her, I think a few months ago, and kind of forgot to use my sinking fund, and so I just had the gift already sitting there waiting for me, and just ended up, since it was already paid for, I just didn't even bother to take it out of the sinking fund. And then I did have my Hulu annual subscription due this month, but I ended up deciding to cancel Hulu. I don't really watch it enough. The only show that I really watch on Hulu is The Handmaid's Tale. And I know that they have a lot of shows that air on television the day after, but honestly, I don't watch a lot of TV, and I don't watch a lot of TV that airs on television. Most of the shows that I watch are streaming shows anyways, so I really felt like I couldn't justify paying for an annual subscription. My plan is to wait until the next season of The Handmaid's Tale is fully done airing on Hulu, and then I'm going to pay for it for 1 month, binge the season, and then cancel my subscription. So after talking about kind of the month overview, I want to bop over to the debt and the net worth pages. So this is the first time I've ever actually used the debt page. And the reason being is that before, very recently, the only debt that I had was my student loans, and I haven't been paying on them in the last couple of years. In June 2022, I did purchase a vehicle. The first payment for that was due in July, but I didn't close out my July budget. So this is the first time I'm using this. I didn't really fully fill out this page. I couldn't really fully fill out this page, but I think I'll be able to provide more information on it next month when I close out my budget. So the only debt that I put down was my my car debt. I do have student loan debt, obviously, but I'm not paying on it yet, so I didn't even feel like it was necessary to include it in here. My monthly payment is $456.85 on my car. I should have put in the balance and the interest rate and stuff, but I was just a little bit lazy. I didn't make any extra debt payments this month. That is definitely something that I want to do. I definitely want to try to make extra payments towards my car to pay it off more quickly. I just need to kind of get over like some other things in my budget before I can start doing that. So no extra debt payments. The total debt payments for the month was just the total for my car payment. And then some of this stuff I couldn't figure out because it was like asking for info about last month, and then I could kind of sort of fill out some of this stuff, but I got a little lazy. So next month I'm going to try harder. The next page that we have is my monthly net worth tracker. I decided to make an effort this year to fill out this net worth tracker every month. 2022 is the first time I actually ever used this page in the Budget by Paycheck Workbook. I was doing really, really good until July. July is the only month this year that I haven't figured out my net worth for. I did do this on the 31st, the last day of the month. I did have to put an A up here because I didn't figure out my net worth last month. I do like to keep my assets to myself in terms of what they are and the amounts for them. But my debt is something I've talked about a lot here. I have student loans. They total to be $44,970.88. And then my Honda CRV, which is my new car, my debt for that is $25,115.07 after the payment that I made this month. Going down to the bottom here, my total assets are $192,844.65. And if I subtract my liabilities, which is $70,085.95 from that, my total net worth for the month of August is $122,758.70. And that is something that I did actually update in the front pages of my planner, and I can definitely share those towards the end of this video. Flipping on over, we get to the Where Did My Money Go worksheets, which is really like the main pages with regards to figuring out or closing out your budget. So the first of the Where Did My Money Go worksheets is my favorite, and the one that I feel like is most valuable to me, and that's the monthly budget category breakdown. The first thing that you're going to do on here is figure out your total monthly inflow. That encompasses several different things, not just your earned income, but any other income, your starting balance for the month of August, any savings you pulled in, all that stuff. I pulled in, that's a lie, I started with a lot of money in my accounts at the beginning of August. That's because I got paid at the end of July, and also I had pulled in from my car taxes and insurance sinking fund right at the end of July because my car insurance was due the first day of August. So the last day of July I had a lot of cash. The first day of August I had a lot of cash, and then a big chunk of it got taken out for my car insurance. So my starting balance was $2,150.60. My earned income, which for me is just my full-time job, was $6,009.88. Other income was a decent amount for me this month, $468.47. That came from a couple of different things. I think I did get one payout from Etsy for maybe a few dollars. I don't really make a lot of money on Etsy, which I'm okay with. I mostly like put things up on my Etsy shop because I just enjoy that kind of stuff. And so I made a few dollars from Etsy, and some of this was just like repayment, like if I purchased something. Perfect example, going to get lunch at work, and I paid for it for me and my friend, and then she Venmo'd me. But the main chunk of this was that I did a little bit of a side job for my employer, and I did receive payment for that. So that was the vast majority of that. I ended up using that to purchase like a couple of clothing items. I don't really purchase clothing very often, but I did purchase a couple clothing items, mostly because I'm going on vacation soon. I wanted to have a couple of new things. And then I did purchase some stamps through Studio Calico, and then the rest of it I really left in like my checking account cushion. And then I used a bunch of savings this month. I pulled in $3,000 from my travel sinking fund to pay towards my vacation that I'm going on in October. If I add all of these together, it comes to a total of $11,628.95. So that was my total monthly info for July. Next, we have all of my budget categories, and this basically breaks down what my monthly budget was, how much I actually spent, the difference between the two, and then what amount of my inflow did that budget category make up. For me, groceries, I was under budget by about $150, which is great. Eating out, I was over budget, and I knew that was going to happen. I have been eating out more. COVID's a little bit more lax now. It's warm months. So I kind of knew I was going to go over budget in eating out, but I actually had 2 work-related dinners in the month of August that, I have to pay for my food when I'm out at these work-related dinners. So that definitely pushed how much I was over. I think if I hadn't had those 2 dinners, it would have been, more closer to being like $200 total, or maybe even a little less. So that was definitely a big factor. Gas. This was a really exciting one for me to figure out. Like I said, I purchased a car at the end of June, and my new car is a hybrid. In the month of July, I was kind of trying to figure out how much I ended up spending on gas because I had my new car for the whole month of July, but then I didn't end up actually closing out my budget. I mean, I know I was under budget. I know it was under $150, but I'm not sure exactly how much I spent. So in the month of August, it was really important to me that I figure that out, and I only spent $77 on gas. Now, I'm not planning on decreasing my gas budget. If I have leftover in my gas budget, it just goes into my emergency fund, and I'm fine with that. But it's really nice to see how much this has dropped since getting my hybrid. For miscellaneous spending, so this is generally going to be the $150 every pay period that I put in my miscellaneous cash envelope. And I'm really happy to say that in the month of August, I was under budget in this category. I only spent $113. So I was under budget by, almost $190, which is really, really, really uncommon for me. And I'm really excited about. Now, one area where I did end up spending a lot of money was my miscellaneous bills category. I never really have a budget for that, but I ended up spending almost $900 from that category. That was just for a variety of different things. Some stuff I had purchased on credit cards that I needed to pay off, some stuff that was kind of for my upcoming vacation, but that I didn't want to pull from my vacation envelope for, different things. I want that number to be lower, but given that my miscellaneous spending was so low and I saved so much, which we're going to talk about next, I'm not like totally annoyed or angry that my miscellaneous bills was that much. Savings. So I always want to save $3,000, about half of my monthly income. And this month I ended up saving $3,817.45, which I'm really, really excited about, over my goal by a little over $800, which is great. And a big chunk of that did go towards my vacation, which you're going to see in a little bit. Utilities, this I was, over budget by $2. So totally fine there. Housing. So this is my rent. I have 0 listed there because the way that my budget ended up breaking down, I didn't actually pay rent in the month of August. So my August rent I pulled from my last paycheck in July, and my September rent I pulled from my September 1st paycheck. I got paid the first day of September, which was really cool. It made closing out my budget like super easy because I didn't really like roll cash over. So yeah, so in the month of August, I actually didn't pay anything for my rent, but you're going to see that in September, I'm going to end up having twice as much as I usually do to kind of balance that out. So my September rent, I pulled from my September 1st paycheck. For giving. So I always contribute $20 a month towards my church, but then I also every month contribute $100 to a charity. I generally will put some type of poll up here on YouTube or on Instagram to have you all vote on the charity that I contribute to. In the month of August, I did contribute to the Alzheimer's Research Association, which was really exciting. The reason why it's under by $20 is because I kind of messed something up, I'll be honest, and I didn't realize it. So in the month of July, I think it was in the month of July, it might have been at the tail end of June, completely switched banks. And I'm now like solely with a credit union, which is great. I love it. I'm so happy I made that change. When I was going through all of my different accounts and changing my information, totally forgot to change my information for my online giving to my church. I remembered it towards the end of August, and I went onto the account and I changed it. and I assumed the $20 would come right out, but for some reason it basically skipped August. So it'll start coming out again in September, but that's why it's under by $20. Debt. This is a new one. You guys haven't seen debt listed here like this. And that's because I now have a car that I'm currently paying off. So my car payment's a little under $460. So that is listed there. And then in orange, I always list sinking funds. And for the month of August, I had my car insurance and taxes sinking fund. That was $1,566. That's part of why this number was so high. And then my travel sinking fund, $3,000. Now, if I add all these numbers together, I'm not going to get my inflow because at the end of the month, I did have money that I rolled over into September. Now, usually that's cash that's in my checking account because it's in the middle of a pay period, cash in my variable expense checking account because it's the middle of a pay period, cash in my cash envelopes because it's the middle of a pay period, variable expenses, cash in cash envelopes. That did not apply because I closed out my pay period budget on the 31st, just like I closed out my monthly budget. So really the only thing that I was rolling over was my checking account cushion, and that was $726.89. And that needs to be included here, or else all the dollars coming in won't equal all the dollars coming out. And the budget by paycheck method involves a zero-based budget. So if I add everything together plus my September starting balance, I did get a total of $11,628.95 on the dot, which is really exciting. So I was off by $0. And as you can see, I have all of my percentages of my monthly inflow listed here. Two highest percentages for me for the month were my savings and then my travel sinking fund. Next highest after that was my car insurance and taxes sinking fund, because that was a really large sum of money. So that makes a lot of sense. Next, we're going to do a little bit more of a breakdown about my debt and savings. So if we look on here, and I'm sorry, I don't know what the heck I got on there. If we look on here, for debt, we break things down based on your total monthly inflow. That's the $11,628.95. My monthly debt payoff was just my car payment, so $456.85. The percent of my inflow to my debt was 3.9%, and all of that went towards my car. For savings, a little bit different. Total monthly income. Now, I think I had been doing this wrong like the entire year so far. This is kind of a new thing in the Budget by Paycheck workbook that came out the last December, so December 2021, which is the book that I used for 2022. Inflow and income, they weren't different. And I think I've been figuring it out wrong the whole time. But I was paying extra close attention when I was watching the Budget Mom's July monthly recap. And she went into detail about the fact that total monthly income is everything listed in this row here, except for savings used. And I think before what I was doing was either just income or like earned income and other income. I was messing it up. I know for a fact I was messing it up. So this month I actually did it correctly. So I did everything but the savings used. And that gave me a total of $8,628.95. Now my total monthly savings was $3,817.45, which was 44% of my income. That's great. I'm happy with that. And then I broke it down further into different categories. So as you can see, house savings did not get a lot of love in the month of August, a little over $200. That is, again, just not my main priority right now. The main priority this month was definitely my vacation savings. And you can see that because I contributed $31.50, 82% of what I saved went to my vacation this month. Next, we have my $5 challenge, which got $70. The 2022 challenge got $135. My 52-week challenge got $130. My emergency fund got $101. I would say this kind of makes sense. You know, the sinking funds, because of my vacation, was definitely the number one. House, number two. And 2022 challenge is number three. Now, the last page in the Where Did My Money Go worksheets this over, is this monthly spending comparison. But because I didn't figure out my, I didn't do a budget recap for July, I didn't fill this in. Yes, I can fill it in for August, but I don't actually have to because I'm not comparing it to anything. For the month of September, when I do my recap, I'll just be able to fill in from these two from these two columns on that comparison. So I didn't end up filling this out. Now, just to kind of show you all, like I was talking about, let me zoom out. In the front of my planner, or my budget book, I should say, how I have like some of these like recap pages or whatever. Yeah, like, so this is like my sinking funds. This is my sinking fund tracker. All of that stuff is updated. My visual trackers for my sinking funds are updated. And then I have these two yearly balance overview pages. And I have, you know, put these up to date, which is really great. I've been keeping track of really just my main savings for my house. I do have like a separate savings account. There is some money in there, not a ton of money, but some money in there. And I don't include that in my house. Like, that stuff, money that I might end up using towards the house, but it's not like my main house savings account. So I've been keeping track of that throughout the year. I've been keeping track of my debt balance, which was the same up until July when I started paying off my car, and has now been steadily going down, which makes me happy. My retirement balance has really dropped drastically since the beginning of the year. In January, my retirement account had over $180,000 in it, and now it has just over $150,000. So that's like $30,000 difference, which is really upsetting, but it's about long-term growth, so I'm trying not to get too upset about it. As you can see, my net worth, it has dipped. It was kind of steadily growing a little bit, but it dipped really hard in June because of the fact that I purchased my car. So I didn't figure it out for July, so that one is blank, but I did figure it out for August. September's is empty because I do it on the last day of the month. And that is it for this month's budget recap. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments about my budget, how I use the Budget by Paycheck workbook, how I close out my budget, please do not hesitate to put them down below. And as always, everyone, please be safe. Bye-bye.